identities so it works. And it's like, okay, we'll make it work.
So interestingly enough, so yeah, my Joe identity is still on the laptop, but I did JoAnna Phillips for this.
Well,
So I
welcome to being our fifth panelist today in the
and last,
but certainly not least, the breakout room sessions. I've heard that you are not only the beginner of metal clay world, but you prefer one fire and sterling clay. That's pretty much the short amount of information I've got of you.
Yeah. So here's something interesting. I'm not a fan of firing carbon. I'm just not. However, when I went through all the testing of the Project X clays, I'm like, damn, this 925 is nice. So yeah, the 925 I would say hands down is my favorite of the Project X clays. I am a silver girl. I dabble in base metals so I can have the knowledge to let my customer base know. Never used 999 until last year at some point where I was testing. I was always 950 or 960. But I'll tell you, I love the 925. And I tested all the Project X clays. Interesting results. I didn't follow Harry's instructions because for me that's not my job. You know, so I prefer to kind of like do my own thing. And then so I tested the pre-production clay, and then last night I tested the production clay so that it was fairly the same. So one of the things, where is it? I moved everything, so I have to find the bottom of my dehydrator. Hang on.
Pause for this brief.
Yeah, pause for this.
JoAnna Phillips decides to go off camera and find something
she left in the other room.
Yeah, no, it was just over to the left. So what I want, one of the main things that I want everyone to know about this Project X clay is, okay, I'm just going to show you this. This is 925 that I rolled out to our stick. This is for all my girls and boys that make guzzles. I did not dehydrate this, but it has all of the clays, whether they're flex or not, they have a natural flex to them. So like literally, you know, I can.
And that's unfired or fired?
Fired, JoAnna.
It is not fired.
Wow.
That is not fired. Not fired. So, and I actually did a test with the pre-production stuff that I wrapped just around a 10-inch cabochon with no problem. Slowly.
So you mean 10 millimeter?
10 millimeter, not 10 inch.
You just said
Yeah.
10 inch cabochon.
It's
That's very
10
large
millimeter
cabochon.
10 millimeter cabochon.
Wow.
So like literally, like I said, this is 925, and the flex in it. Okay, so this is air dried. I did it this afternoon.
Right.
But here's another piece of the 925 that I did put in the dehydrator. I mean, it's still like,
Wow.
like
Yeah.
look at the flex.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing is as well. This is made with the 999 flex. Probably a month ago. Easily a month ago. I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy. And I can bend this. I did break it. Not from bending it, just because I manhandle things.
Right.
But I can very easily bend that all the way around into a round circle. There's a big problem with sterling silver metal clay for bracelet breakage, both when handling before refining or after. It makes this clay better for small. I'm going to answer that, Laura. Karen Rumpel, who is the cuff queen, she's literally like she made this out of base metals. I've had this for a year. She's pretty confident that the 925 is going to be but 925 has a lot of strength to it. So, you know what, I'm going to let you handle the chat because I get distracted. So I'm just going to turn that off.
I don't have an answer for that because I haven't done any of the empirical testing that you're doing. So I will field the questions if they're directed at you. I do not have the knowledge. So yeah.
I do not feel that there's going to be any problems because so one of the things that I want to talk about that has like been driving me absolutely insane is the shrinkage. Everybody's talking about the shrinkage. Everybody's like, oh my God, it's 25% or it's this. I need to make it very clear. There's just so many variables to shrinkage anyways, but more importantly, what you're seeing is that is wet to centered, not dry to centered like most other clays give you their shrinkage based off of dry to centered. This is from wet to centered. So there's a big difference there, and it's been driving me nuts. So it's not like, it's really not as scary as people are making it out to be. You know, in my previous life, that silver was 25% shrinkage wet to center, but it was advertised as 12 to 15.
Right.
So I feel like that's
More followed up with another question. What is the dry to centered shrinkage of it?
I'll be honest with you, I did not, I wrote all the numbers down, but I didn't figure out the shrinkage. I think probably in all of the Facebook groups, Michael Galvin actually did testing on the 925, and he's got all of that information on the Facebook groups. And this is the 960 flex, and I did this today, same thing. It's like a little, you know, I mean, you don't want to go like that because you're going to snap it. You have to yeah, you just wiggle it. Wiggle. You know, I mean, I work this, I could easily get that to a horseshoe. So, again, the important thing is that even the stuff that is standard and non-flex has that natural flex to it. And that's what I love about that 925. But the testing that I did, I mean, I carry like a book on the testing, and I do have one of the other things. So I did, you know, I know how everybody loves the mag tumblers. I say that tongue in cheek because I have the big old mag tumbler. Anything that you put in there comes out with a nickel finish, a satin finish. So I did, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, fingerprint jewelry. I don't know. Can you see the fingerprint?
It's got a lot of glare on it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Just of it, yeah.
So this was made with the 999 standard. I just had my granddaughter just stuff her finger in the clay, fired it, threw it in the mag tumbler for 30 minutes. I mean, and look at the finish on that. And that's all I did. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then last night, I tested. These are the 999s, and these are for my glass people. So all three of these, and I'll explain the difference. This is the 999 standard. 1200 degrees. A pretty hard center I got on that for an hour. Carrie was saying that for the flex clays, you should high heat them before you fire them. Right. So I did one with the high heat, and I did one without, and I got the same results.
So I think she was talking about that in terms of reducing the potential for bubbles. That was the reason for the high heat.
Okay. And I didn't get any, but they're also test pieces. I didn't do any big pieces yet. The other thing is, which I thought this was interesting, during all of my testing with all of the clays, and I do not recommend anybody do this. Nobody should do this, but I did it. I used no lube on my work surface. I used no lube on my roller. The pre-production clay I rolled onto Gwen's paper textures with zero lube. It did not stick. It was not treated at all. The production clay I tested last night than the texture. So when I did watch Gwen's video today, well, again, my testing, my opinion, that with the paper textures, it was completely different. I literally, and I'm going to do it right now. I love the packaging. Packaging is amazing. I literally
packaging.
amazing packaging. I took a little bit of lube, and I'm technologically challenged with cameras, so I'll just show you, but not.
Right.
So literally, I put a little bit of lube on my fingers. I'm going to rub it on this paper texture. That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll out the 5 grams of 999, not flex, or hard stick, and then I'm going to roll it down to 2 on top of the texture. That's what's nuts to me. This was nuts. It was crazy. And my hair is probably going to move because it's on the table.
It's okay. When we were doing the project yesterday, I had a little too much lube on my hands, and I was rolling something out, and my roller literally like launched across the table where my table mate would have been sitting, knocked stuff on the floor.
Nice. Sounds like something I would do. Listen, if I do a live and my camera doesn't flip over at least once, it's amazing. All right, so I just put the clay on the paper texture. And I always roll with the texture on the top. So I'm going to roll this down to 2 parts thick.
Right.
God, please make this work. Oh, dropped it. Alright. So I want you guys to see, that was all I did, was just put that little bit of tiny lube on there. You have the beautiful texture.
Yep.
They can't see.
It's a peacock feather.
It is, and no, nothing. Literally
Yeah.
a tiny dab of glue. Where before we did oil paper, or we put the Mod Podge on it. Probably one of the most amazing, coolest things ever.
Yeah.
I did with that. It also takes, the rubber texture.
Oh yeah.
This is, actually think this is 960. I don't know if you can see it, but it is another feather.
Right.
But the texture, and I mashed this into the texture. I didn't roll it. I literally mashed it in with my fingers.
Yeah.
And it takes the texture completely amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So I've been working with it for a while, and
I know.
I love Gwen's low profile textures. I use them almost exclusively, and I was having the best results, really deep pulls off of a 1-card differential. Because my real trick to rolling out her textures is, after I roll out the initial slab, I just use the thickness of the texture for the reduction. So I just moved the slabs right? But my other trick is I stopped lubricating my textures a long time ago because I'm more of I use products that are more like the old Badger Balm. So I actually lubricate my clay very lightly, and you can use almost zero on this Project X stuff and have no sticking on anything. If it's a silicone texture, you don't even need lubricant.
It's crazy.
It's amazing for so many reasons, and it's got this beautiful elasticity without being sticky, and that's a really great thing for certainly for moving forward with the metal clay world. One of the challenges is that to work with the previous manufacturing of metal clay. With paper textures, they were supposed to be peeled and then completely soaked in liberation. Well, people who live down here where I am, their textures were getting moldy.
Oh, I believe that, for sure.
Right. So to be able to get them away from having to replace textures after 6 months or a year of seasonal change, to being able to use a minimum amount of lubrication and get the same results is just amazing. So, talk to me a little bit about, because, you and I know each other, but we don't really know each other. Like, talk to me about your artistic journey, not just with metal clay, but overall.
So my story goes, probably 2015, both of my kids were addicted to heroin. So I went down this path of I needed something. I needed to not focus on that, to wait for that phone call or the knock on the door. So I started doing beading, just beading. And at that time, all I had to do was just focus on what was on my hands and not in the outside world. That turned into, I don't know if anybody remembers, but the big pearl thing on Facebook Live, opening the pearls live, or the oysters live, and get the pearl. What a money racket that was. We made a ton of money. And so what we did was we did that, and I made jewelry. So any pearls that people got, I made jewelry out of that, to that with them, with settings and drilling pearls. And then it got to the point where I'm like, this isn't enough for me. So my business partner, I separated. She wanted to go more paparazzi, where I wanted to go more high end. Really what I wanted to do was I wanted to get into metalsmithing, and where I live, I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm in the middle of nowhere. So I had a very good friend of mine who is somebody in Berkshire County in Massachusetts. I said, Mike, I said, I really want to learn metalsmithing. I said, do you know a lot of people? Do you know anybody? He said, no. He's like, but talk to Courtney, who was his wife. She got into this thing called, I don't know, metal, clay, something. Never heard of it. So then I did some research. I joined all the groups on Facebook. Courtney ended up giving me probably $1,000 worth of product because she didn't want to do it anymore. She didn't have time. Of course, me, I'm like, this stuff is really cool. So yeah, I take like a whole 25-gram pack of, silver, and I mash it into a mold and I fire it. And I'm like, well, this is going to be expensive. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, moderation. So then I was getting as much knowledge as I could. I was making jewelry. I was selling jewelry, beginner jewelry, And then I stumbled onto Awesome Metal Clay. Got a lot of knowledge, made some great friends, started selling Awesome Metal Clay. And then, I made that move this year, which originally I was going to go back into, making jewelry. But then I kind of fell into this because none of it was planned, and everything just kind of moved and shifted the way it did. So now I am basically on the distributor journey for now. I will go back to making pieces and making jewelry and honing in my skills. Like, I have, I think, 40 friends. I think I have every single one of that lady's tutorials. Because her aesthetic is amazing. So, long-term goal for me is to keep the business moving. I also want to get into a situation where I don't want to be a teacher, but I'm teaching people. Whether it's technique videos, or whether it's a tutorial, or whether it's, whatever. So I have that journey, which along with that will also hone in my skills and my ability. So that's kind of the short version of my story. And I'm very happy. Like, I feel like the luckiest girl in the world. I'm carrying two of the best clays, the base metal with Goldie, the Project X with Carrie. I have exclusive kits with Jewel Tool for metal clay. And if any of you guys missed Annie's demo yesterday, watch that. She's amazing. And I'm also more along the lines of, my thing is, I want to do metal clay and mixed media. Like, I want to work with sheet metal, and I want to combine the two, so I can show people how to do that. I'm actually working on, I have all these gemstones. I have gemstones from, $2 to $600 that most of them are prom settings. There's not a lot of people that do prom settings. So I am working on something right now, and hopefully by the time, major announcement for all those that wanted, I booked my tickets for MCAS today. My airline tickets. So I'm going to MCAS. Everyone that has been, you gotta go. I committed to the airfare today. I committed to it.
Well, I'll see you there.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll have that figured out by the time I get to MCAS, because I really want to be able to show people how they don't have to use the goggles. And there are other alternatives to prom settings. Because I look at the I have a problem. I have an addiction to gemstones. So I have the my stash and I have the self stash, which my stash is. But I need to know what to do with them and how to work with them. So that is something that I will be working on within the next 2 weeks, and hopefully to help people like me that don't want to do just embeddable and be able to set a cushion cut ametrine, but you can't fire it. So that's one of my goals. And really just market the hell out of the play and market the hell out of the tool.
Nice.
So do you have
So do you
like-
have examples of your work you can show to our audience that aren't test pieces?
No.
Okay.
I don't
Look,
want
Look,
I got
a job here, so I'm trying to get everybody sort of pumped up about the individual artists and what they do. And so it sounds like you'll have some stuff in the works that will be stuff that you're going to be showing off soon, which is
Yep.
great.
Yep.
If you were to look at sort of future Project X, what in your mind is like the growth of it all?
The growth of Project X, I would say that, so it's funny because my biggest fear, honestly, I was like, what if I don't like Harry's clay? Like, what if I hate it?
Right.
So scared, like, what if I don't like her clay? And she did talk about this yesterday, that, if you open that pack, and I'm spoiling it, if you open that pack and it feels a little dry, and I had that problem with one of the pre-production packages, and my biggest fear was because before I've had a situation where companies put too much flex in a flex clay and you get the little bubbles or the little knots and you can't get them out, and then that's a nightmare. That's not how this is. I just want to let everyone know, Carrie's right. When you first get that pack and you feel it, you're like, oh, this is really hard. And even if you open it and you feel like there's little dry bits around, and just squish it. Like, squish it and roll it, and it comes back perfect. I have clay here when I tested that I have not put 1 drop of hydration in, and I've had it for over a month, and I can still use it. But where do I see the future of Project X? I personally think that this is an amazing clay. I'll be honest with you, I did not like PMC clay. I didn't like it. So, and I think Carrie asked me, like, how do you think it feels compared to PMC? And I'm like, I love this clay. I'm a silver person. There's only one other clay that I haven't tried. And I think that Carrie will expand this line. And I think that Carrie and Pam, I think this will put it in the column of Pam. Carrie and Pam will build this Project X line to be something that was bigger than PMC ever thought of being. Because, like I said, my opinion, I was a little nervous because I was scared to death I was going to hate it. And I was pleasantly surprised that I loved it. And in particular, the 925. Because all of a sudden I have to fire and carbon. But think about it. You get more strength. It's less expensive.
Right.
It's amazing. I can't thank Carrie enough for giving me this opportunity because I think the place is fantastic. And I feel like there are so many more things that you can do with this clay that I don't necessarily think that you could do with PMC. But also, the finishing of this clay is so easy. Like, to finish it and polish it, it's so easy. Like, before, I would have to take my silver clay, put it in the mag tumbler, and then throw it in the rotary. Where I didn't have to do that. I mean, even the feel of it. Like, I can't even explain the feel of it. It feels different, polished.
Right.
It'll never be sheet metal because it's clay, but it feels more like sheet metal, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
It's got a denser feel. Like, I look at it and I use a magnetic pin finisher, and just taking the pieces out of there, I've never seen pieces that bright in 999. So,
Yeah.
I'm going to be jumping into her 960 and possibly the 925 again, and I'm really excited to see what those finishes look like. With the 999, it's like it's blindingly bright. It's like
Yeah, just as like I said, now that I've had my feet almost red.
yeah.
Yeah, that's 999.
Yeah.
In the mag 10 finisher for, I think I did 20 minutes to a half hour, and I didn't finish that. Like I didn't see in the back. I couldn't find the edges, but I mean, it's crazy.
It's an amazing product. I mean, I've been talking about it obviously, yesterday as a participant, today as a host, but it is so different than anything else that I've ever worked with, and in so many great ways. And it's like the thing that for me, and I don't want to take away from what you've talked about. For me, I had to keep reminding myself, it's like it is a different play. So you have to approach it saying, I know how to work with previous stuff, but I have to kind of approach it and see what its characteristics are, and then once I understand that, I'm just going to run with it. And it's like it was so much easier to jump into that than some of the other brands that are out there that I literally tried 3 or 4 times. I was like, nope, I'm not going to use this. There's no way that this is going to work for me in my skill set and my techniques. I don't want to mess with this. And this one is more along the lines of, I mean, it's just 100% everything I'm doing is going to work. I just have to make some subtle shifts in my technique to adjust for the new play.
Well, and I think because, I've had a lot of people ask me, Joe, how is it compared to blah, blah, blah. And my answer is, you need to get blah, blah, blah out of your brain because you cannot compare this to this. They're 2 different animals, and what you think you know about silver clay, you need to get out of your head. Because this is literally a whole different animal.
Right.
Whole different animal. I mean, and the even the firing schedules. I mean, like 1,200 for an hour. Like I throw a glass in there and have a pretty hard center. It's not too shabby.
Yeah.
And out of all fairness, I did. After I did my testing, I then followed Carrie's directions to see, how it was. But I mean, I can't. If you haven't used it, I don't know if there's a way that I can describe it.
Right. You gotta try it. Right? That's the biggest thing is if you're on the fence, try it. Understand that it's going to be subtly different than some of the other plays. Watch all the stuff that we put together over the next yesterday and today. Ask questions if you're running into problems. But for the most part, it's more forgiving, denser. It's got this amazing feel. It doesn't get dry easily. It rehydrates quickly and easily if you're having dryness issues. And finishing is just.
I will tell you again. I have not put. Let's see, what play is this? This is 999. Okay, so this is the 999 play that I got well over a month ago. It's stored in this little plastic bag. I'm sure it's not airtight. And I take it out of the package. I mean, it is so look. So it's a little hard, right? Wait. But wait.
Yeah.
But wait. I mean, look at it. I mean, honestly, look at it. Like, I can use this. Is it a little stiffer than the fresh up out of the pack? 100%. But I can use this. I can work this where I can use this. Again, this is over a month. Not one drop of water or rehydration fluid. Nothing. This is the insane thing to me. Literally, probably 6 weeks. That's nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't, and that's the thing. Like, I took it out. It was a little hard and a little dry. I work it. Like, I work all the binders. Any of the moisture, I redistribute it, and I work this with my hands. When I took these out of the package, I took the whole funk out, and I worked them with my hands because I wanted my hands to be on them. I wanted my skin oils to be on them. Actually, what did my husband say to me? He said, what are you doing?
Right.
Like, I said, I need to see what the working time is on this, and I need to, when I first got these, I mean, I literally did that for probably 10 minutes, and it still wasn't, fresh out of the pack. It still didn't need, again, I haven't put any liquid in this, but the working time is incredible. Your 925s and your 960s are going to be a little bit drier because you have the copper content rather than, but I have had no problems with them either. So all I can say is if you haven't tried it, that's why I got the 5 gram pack. So if anybody is scared and they want to try it, it's a great opportunity. But don't think it's going to be like this clay or that clay, because it's just not. It's just not.
You gotta treat it like its own animal.
Definitely an animal. Does anyone know how long to fire in the 999 beehive?
Yeah, Carrie's gonna have to refer back. Sorry, Sharani Mohammed. I'll try to get Carrie to answer that. Laura, the Sterling ring sizing. That information will probably be something published as people do the project and figure that out. And then Kim, I'm hoping we can embed 960 and 999 and fire together so we can make bendable bonds in Project X. Co-firing.
You actually definitely can, because your 960, I think Carrie recommends 1650. The 999, if you want to go that high, you can do, I think, 1600. I'm willing to bet that your 960 will actually center a little less than the 1650 off the record.
So Kim,
it sounds like you're going to have to make a practice piece, and you get to be the guinea pig for the project, and then get to show off your results. So Kim, we're going to throw the ball to you and see if you can run with it.
And the other thing too is, you can. Well, it says we can embed 960 and 999 and fire together. Embed 960. So are you talking about an embeddable, Kim, or are you talking
about actual 960 clay being embedded in 999 clay to be co-fired? It'll be fun. We get that to create your own project.
Yeah, I definitely think you can do it.
And it may be something, Kim, that you could message Carrie about to find the perfect temperature that works well for both, so you get a similar center level.
Okay, so I'll give you an example. When I tested the 960 standard, I did Carrie's test. That's a good girl. My second test, however, Carrie suggested 1600 to 1 hour. Perfect. However, I tested at 1350 for 45 minutes.
1350 for 45 minutes?
There was a reason that I did that, and I can't tell you what it is now because I don't remember. It had a very soft center. So you can very easily combine, in my opinion, the 999 and the 960 piece of cake. But test it.
Michael Galvin just piped up. He said it's fine. I've done it with packs, no issues. 1600 1 hour. So that seems to be the sweet spot.
Yeah.
And I would say, as much testing as you're doing, Michael's doing it as well. So I think it's between all of you pros and all your testing. So I think we'll find a consensus that seems to work for some interesting stuff that wasn't possible in other plays.
I agree. It's amazing. And like I said, I kind of just went off in my own little world on my own testing based on problems that I've had with other clays. So my testing is probably different than anybody else's, and my reasoning is probably different than anyone else's. So, co-firing has always been a challenge. It's not, Kim, I'll tell you, I don't think we're going to have an issue at all with this, at all. Because there is that variable in temperature. So, Shrinkage shrinkage between 960 and 999 is similar enough to play nicely. Sharon, shrinkage stuff. Like I said, I've done my measurements. I haven't figured out the shrinkage. I would refer back to Carrie and Michael Galvin.
Sharon for sure. Just check
Michael
Galvin's published PDF files all over the groups that are accessible to everyone. I'm sure you can find that.
There we go, Michael Galvin
Within 2%. So that is close enough. I think it shouldn't have any big problems.
Yep. So many different possibilities, and that's part of the reason I tested at all these different temperatures, because I wanted to know.
Yeah.
Like literally, I wanted to know. I think one of the things. So test number 3 on the 999 flex, which I thought was very interesting. I did at 1200 for half an hour. And it was just shy of the full filter. Which I'm like, what is happening? Like, what is going on?
Right.
So my thing is, my recommendation to everybody is, and I've said this before, yes, you can follow the instructions that come, but do your own testing. You need to know how your heat works. You need to do your test strips. Quite honestly, you should know where mouth temp is on your clay, because that's going to give you the hardest center if you're centering right under, mouth. So do your own testing. Don't just go by what somebody says on a piece of paper. My kiln overshoots 50 degrees.
Wow.
Yeah. So I know how to account for that. Yeah. So that's all I got. I just want to plug Metal Clay World. Tons of gemstones, tons of cabs, best clays on the market, tons of turquoise, which are all bought in the U.S. Most of my stuff is bought from women-owned businesses. And and the jewel tool, specific kit made for metal clay, made specifically more for Metal Clay World for base metals, and you want just base metals and silver. But if you're interested just in the silver kit, I'm your girl. I can help you out. I got permission to give 5% off from Ani for my kit. So if you have any questions, let me know. I will be an empath. I will have gemstones. I will have cats. I will have turquoise. I will have the jewel tool, the demo. Yep, I'm committed to doing it, so I'm going.
Well,
JoAnna, thank you so much for your time, your knowledge, and all the information you shared with us. I look forward to seeing you next month in Winston-Salem. To my audience that has been with me on and off all day today, thank you. Your patience with my technology. It's been an adventure. It's been fun, and I'm going to go check on the classroom here and see what's going on. So, all y'all, farewell. Have a great time, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.